I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome, everyone. The meeting's being recorded, audio and video recorded. Approval of minutes.
Second.
Are there any comments or changes? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Approval of claims.
No moved.
Second. Any questions or discussion on the claims? Need more time? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next, we have public comment on non-agenda items.
I got some public comment. I know that's where you guys don't want to hear, so. I'm just.
Would you mind standing up and
Oh, yeah,
stating
my
your
name's
name
Nick
for the?
Booker. My kids go to school here. I need to stand up while I talk.
It'd be helpful because we have to record the meeting, so.
All right, I'm just curious about, this state, tournament that's coming up. And why, like, the seventh graders who are a big part of our pet band, like, is a big part of our pet band. Why we included them from divisionals and districts. They have been our only crowd. They've been our, you can all vouch for, you've all been to the games, they're the only ones that stand up and cheer. They've been to every home game. They've been to every divisional game, they've been to every district game. Why are we bringing them to state? Just curious. Anybody answer that? Let's hear it.
Okay, Mr. Bogart and I had a chance to chat today and did a little research since we had a chance to chat, I haven't a chance to get back to you, but technically. The seventh graders are not sanctioned by the Montana High School Association to be a part of the high school band. I talked to Mr. Lennington, I've talked to Mrs. Ball. The mistake that we made actually by our own policy is that eighth graders, if they're gonna participate in the band, are supposed to be approved by the board. According to what our policy says, the Montana High School Association. Seventh graders unfortunately aren't sanctioned to be a part of the Montana High School Association, in this case, extracurricular activity, which in this case is pep band. They consider pep band an extracurricular activity. And so to his point, yes, we let them go to district. We had a couple kids go to divisional last week. And technically, the mistake that I feel like we made is without board approval, we should not have had them go. And so now we made the decision to not have them go because they weren't gonna stay. They're not coming with the team. I had a conversation with Mr. Lennington about if a couple of them come with their parents, can they play? We're having that discussion, but we already had a precedent because we let them go. That's to his point, and that's fair.
That brings me to my next point. So now my student received an email, my older student, because now we're not allowing my younger student to participate. And we're letting school out earlier for a state basketball game. 30 below last week. Full speed ahead, just saying, for the record. We're letting school out early for some people or faculty members to attend the game. We don't have enough teachers to substitutes, right? So now I have to take my kid out, right? My other kid can't participate, so I'm gonna take them down there. right? They've been a part of it all year. They wanna be a part of it. I'm gonna take them down there, right? Well, now my older kid was like, well, can't they just bring my instrument? Can I just bring my instrument? And the email that they received this evening was, no.
If they
So,
come,
my question to you guys is. I mean, didn't we vote last month about allowing like fourth graders to play fifth and sixth grade basketball? Wasn't that one of the votes you guys did? Again, I'm trying to bring them up. Our kids are dwindling. Have you guys not figured out, like, they get to middle school and we don't have enough kids to fill up a dang basketball team for a class B school. We're co-opting with another school. If we didn't co-op with them, we'd have enough girls. So we wanna tell our kids like, hey, good job, now we're at the state playoffs, we need you all year, now, hey, we don't want you, we don't need you. Not to mention the kids are in high school that their parents, now they wanna drive down there. They don't want no money to come out of the school's budget, right? They're gonna supply, they're gonna go down there. Why can their kid not play her damn instrument, excuse my language, in the band? It don't cost you guys nothing. She wants to be a part of something, she's been a part of it all season long, and now you're saying she can't? Why?
Is there a reason she's not on the?
Why?
but the fact is, we wouldn't let any student drive there by themselves to an event and participate. We wouldn't let a
They're gonna
basketball
come
player
with-
do that.
All right,
We
so
wouldn't
now I
let a
gotta
volleyball
ask you
player.
this. Do we not drop our coaches and our students off on the way home from basketball games? Are we not allowed to sign our kids off of the bus on the way home from any sport event? Yes or no?
Yes,
What's the difference here, sir?
and if they come with their parent,
They can't
they
participate?
can participate.
That was the email.
Because
I got this-
what was communicated to the teacher was they were driving down on their own, and I told them, no, they couldn't we wouldn't allow a student to drive to a game by our policy. We can't drive
Okay,
to,
now is it by policy, and where's this policy?
I can grab, I didn't
You know,
bring a
it's
handbook
like,
with
where's
me.
the?
Yeah.
Cause now it's not fair, we're telling kids no, and then we're making parents make a decision. If they want their kids involved, then you have to drive them down there. Well, now you're bringing your kid down there and they still can't participate?
That's,
We don't have enough kids to make a fifth
Based
and sixth
upon-
grade basketball
now
team.
wait a second,
Or
in
they're
fairness,
dwindling down. We need
the
to-
information
much
we were given is that
participation.
they were going to drive themselves to the game. And we would not allow them to participate if they drove themselves to the
Okay,
game.
so-
We're not gonna accept that liability if
So
they go with
there's
their
no
parents.
liability for the school for something that is extracurricular that, so my kid, say if my kid just drives and watches the game, she goes into the student section, are you guys liable for that? She drove herself.
No, but you're asking about her playing in the band.
So what's wrong?
If she
didn't-
goes with
didn't
you,
ride
if
a
she goes,
bus.
Yeah, this isn't the
She
right
didn't
platform
ride
to
a
be
bus
arguing about this,
home.
Nick,
I'm
but the
just
fact
saying, I'm
is,
just asking, is the hypocrisy here not relevant?
No, it's not hypocrisy. What it
What
is,
is it?
what it is beyond our control.
But we're the school where you guys can control.
Yeah, no, you can't control MHSA. You can't.
But there's nothing in there that says, hey, your kid cannot participate, she's an eighth.
There
grader.
isn't?
Is
Are you
there
sure there
some? I don't
isn't?
know,
You
that's
just
what I would
told
like
us
to
that there
see, I
was.
would love to see it, I would love to see it,
Well-
you don't humor me, please.
Go get the handbook and we'll show him.
I'm just saying, 'cause, you know, it's just,
Well-
why do we want all the kids to participate?
Yeah, we'll have to take this offline because it's a non-agenda item. We can't take any action on it. It's not really a board issue at this point. It's a school administration issue. So I think that the way we need to handle this is offline after the meeting. So the board members understand your concern. And we can talk to Mr. Holt about it individually after the meeting. Since it's a non-agenda item, we can't take
I
action on it, but
I appreciate your time, thank you.
but we can definitely discuss it outside of the meeting. Thank you.
Just glad you're all aware of it.
Is there anything else? Okay, next is communications to and from the board. Kelly handed me a thank you note. That says, dear trustees and administration, thank you for the lovely floral arrangement. It means so much to be remembered at this time. Sincerely, Helen's family. This is for Jim and Vicky O'Hara's mother, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's it, right, for communications? Board chair's report, the one thing that I need to address is addressing a possible schedule change for our May board meeting. So the school had contacted me a couple weeks ago about needing to reschedule the Booster Club banquet. They can't have it the week they normally have it, because of, I can't remember the reason now. There was some conflict.
Yeah, what was the conflict? This is well.
Is it state golf?
Yeah.
I think it's kind of the way that, yeah, the
Yeah,
state,
the way the schedule's set up,
competitions
yeah.
lined up this
Yeah,
year.
there was something, yeah.
Anyway, so they would like to have it the night of the school board meeting, and I know there's people here that would like to attend, including our administration, so I would like to propose a schedule change for May.
Should. We almost need to do it the week early because the week later it's getting pretty late, isn't it?
Well, we have the election results, we usually swear in new board members in there,
Mhm.
so that's the one thing I need to check on, is that
Oh, when the medal.
for the,
The election is at 6,
Oh, that's.
so it has to be after the 6th.
okay, but that works, right? No.
No.
It doesn't work, sorry. Oh, I'm on the wrong month.
We have concerts now that have been moved to the 6th and the 8th. Mr. Lennington's wife's gonna have a baby, so we moved the spring music concerts, the high school band and choir concert was on Tuesday, the 6th. And from 6 to 7, and the middle school 5 through 8 band concert is on Thursday, the 8th, from 6 to 7.
Would the 12th work? I know it's a Monday, but,
It doesn't work for me.
oh, that's just that day.
Yeah. We're gonna have,
FFA banquet.
Mm,
um,
It just seems like it's getting late in the month.
Could we ever do it during the day, or is that just like probably?
yeah,
too
earlier
far
in the
for
day that
people?
day
On
could
the 12th.
potentially be an
Better.
option.
How early?
The banquet is at,
Doesn't say on the
it
calendar.
doesn't say. I would say usually about 5:30 or 6, somewhere in there, right?
I'm not sure for the FFA one what time that is, to be honest.
If it's earlier in the day.
Jenny and I should know this.
You wouldn't be able to. Pardon?
No,
Jenny should.
we
know
haven't,
this.
we haven't had haven't learned anything on that yet.
I mean, if it was 7, I feel like we could do it, but if it's 5,
Mhm.
um,
What about like?
What
on
about earlier
Wednesday or
today
something?
on Tuesday?
I guess that's what I was thinking.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were on Monday still, sorry.
Oh, Monday does not work for me, but I guess you can do the meeting without me.
Earlier on Tuesday could be fine too, I think.
Is there? Who would know
What time is
about
that?
the timing that we could
The
maybe
Booster
find out?
Club, it'd be
Tyler.
Tyler.
I'll ask.
Should we be able
No, it's at least at
to- We can
6.
table it for now and come back to it.
I'll ask him now.
Okay.
Maybe we'll know by the end of the
Okay.
meeting.
We'll move on to Roxy.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about the elementary school. Favorite density, could you pass those around, please? Awesome. It seems like a lot has happened since our last board meeting, especially since I was sick the last board meeting, I believe. So here are some highlights, since my last board report. We had a great February assembly. We had an assembly on February 25th, and we invited the high school band to come down and play with the kids, and it was awesome. And it was really cute because we have an elementary school song and all of the high school kids helped the second graders sing it. So that was really fun. And so that was great. We had our end of trimester 2, which was February 27th. And we had a successful preschool screening. So we had 7 kids total that came. So not large numbers, but as conferences are occurring right now, we're looking at having some of our current students do another year of pre-K. So we're looking at maybe a little bit of a smaller kindergarten class size next year. So that should be great. So good, looking at numbers, and that's always exciting. We had a great Cooking with Kids class on March 3rd, and those classes continue to be so well attended. The kids really enjoy them. So thanks to Janelle Barber and Karen Giles for that. And sadly, I was unable to attend one of my favorite events of the year because I love the spelling bee. Hi, Will. You got here just in time. Yes, just in time. But we had a great turnout at the spelling bee. And as always, the words are difficult, but the Longhorns persevered. They did not win, but nonetheless, there was a great showing. So our teachers are busy with conferences, and so far we've had great attendance with that. Do you guys have any questions so far? So speaking of our MTSS report, we had a YIP meeting that we moved to be discussed during common planning, and we are continuing to, we're gonna utilize that March 21st day to talk about our new reading curriculum that we received. Well, we've had it since the fall, but our teachers were very eager to dive into it. And so we're excited to kind of talk about that. We're continuing to get some of our MAST results back, which is the state standardized testing. And so that's been super beneficial to have at conferences, and it also gives us an opportunity to look at where we need to maybe alter our instruction or just meet the needs of our kids a little bit differently, especially with writing. So we're gonna spend some time talking about the writing that comes with that new curriculum, and talking about next year. We've even started talking about a theme for next year, but I won't tell you guys just yet, but it's gonna be great. We have quite a bit of things coming up. We do have a CCPA concert coming up on March 18th with no outreach. In an evening performance only, but still we hope that that's well attended. We have Shoto County Health coming in on March 20th to do our maturation and health programs. We have Missoula Children's Theater, and so that'll happen the week it starts March 31st, and the performance will be April 5th. The show this year is The Snow Queen. So we are hoping to even maybe get some middle school, high school attendance, so maybe Mr. Hould could jazz that up with our friends up here. And Anna Argenbright is the contact for that, so we're super thankful. Want to thank her for that. We are also very excited about this. Like for a couple years, we haven't had a parent team at the elementary school. And our parent team has been really, really helpful in the past, whether it's providing meals for parent-teacher conferences or even helping us with possible fundraising ideas, making sure our teachers' needs are met. And I think that's super important. So Emily Anderson reached out to me, and we have an elementary parent team interest meeting on April 19th. And we would encourage anybody that's interested to come. It's an awesome opportunity that we can get some involvement, and we always welcome extra help. So we're super excited and hope that that's well attended. It's at 6 p.m. at the elementary auditorium. If you could put that in bold, please, that would be amazing. Yeah, thank you. We have a 6th grade wax museum on April 16th. We're joining the high school for that. So if you guys are around, come check that out. That starts at 9 a.m. And then we have Easter break, April 20th. We will also have our senior citizen luncheon the same day as Longhorn Day, which is May 2nd, 1st. May 1st. Oh, I was like, whoa. Uno, May 1st. If you'd like to put that, that'll be at 1 p.m. And we'll be busy advertising for that as well. So that should be exciting. Kind of crazy. We're already like, May. We're a little bit like, whoa. So do you guys have any questions for me?
Is the reading curriculum K through 6?
It is, yeah. Yeah, it is K through 6. It kind of replaces what we currently have from Journeys. It's called Into Reading, and we currently have Into Math. So there's some shared platforms there, like some diagnostic assessments and things like that. That'll be really exciting to use. One thing we've been talking about too is shifting. Mr. Hould is implementing MAPS next year, which is a different diagnostic than DIBELS. Basically, just gives us assessments on where our kids are at and how we can grow them. So we're thinking about utilizing that in 4th, 5th, and 6th for some continuity and growth into middle school, and to help reflect the math standards that we're seeing on that SBAC assessment, but just to help kind of give us a more overall picture of our kids. It doesn't just match oral reading fluency and comprehension like DIBELS does, it digs deeper into standards. So that might sound, yeah, so I'm excited about that. I think it'll be really great for our staff. They're excited about it as well. Awesome. Okay, thank you.
I hope you feel better.
Thanks, it's gonna get there someday. Yeah, the sickness has been a lot at the elementary school for sure.
Good evening. The report tonight's pretty quick. We went through everything and then we have a committee report coming up later. City crew they've been instrumental in helping again with snow removal all season long. And they came out and helped us with the pole vault pit to finish it up yesterday. Larry and Danny are keeping the school really tidy and looking good, so if you see those two, be sure to thank them. We are looking for more staff, so if you know of anybody in town, come and see Callie and get an application, because we could reuse more staff to help do that. Spring sports started, and so we'll be looking at track prep next week, as it dries out just a little bit more. Tennis nets will go up at the elementary, and of course, golf net in the back in case of inclement weather. Mainly on track, we've got everything kind of lined up for next week to do the packing and the grading and everything. CCPA on the 18th, student council is working on Longhorn Day. We were in with them today. It is May 1st, and the kitchen staff's already working on the luncheon that she had mentioned, that coincides with that, and the kids program on that same day. Air intake at the elementary, we're just waiting on hookup of the controls and then the power to it, so we should be in pretty good shape. If we, have that guy come back. Again, CCPA on the 18th, and then the varsity locker rooms will be closed again on Thursday and Friday in the afternoon and morning. We hope to get the toilets finished up and the urinals hung up on the metal. Right now we have the sinks going, and everything is replumbed for hanging the urinals up there, so they have been on it when the school hasn't been in session. Not much else other than that. Are you gonna mention that later about
The career,
April? Yeah,
yeah, I think he has it under his.
okay, good enough. Oh, one thing, and Callie knows this, the advertisement's going to River Press for bid, Sunday, March 16th, Wednesday, the 19th, and the 22nd or 23rd. And, we'll open bids on the 4th, and it is a Friday.
The bid's going to Tribune.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry,
It's like
yeah,
Sunday.
no, yeah, no, it has to be up
Yeah.
in the venue.
Yep.
Just so you know, the opening will come up, and it is a Friday, and then I think, we've discussed with Brant a meeting later, and how that all coincides, so we'll need a couple of guys there for form. Right, pretty easy to do. All right.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Since I saw you last, we have had not a lot and a lot happen. Basketball for our girls finished up. They had a very strong showing, and they were able to play through to the Saturday morning of divisional tournaments and did a great job. And we were very proud of their performance through the season and in that final game as well. The boys ended up placing second at the divisional tournament and survived through the challenge game as well, and will be continuing on to represent us at the state tournament. That is this week. Their first game is Thursday evening against Bridger, which is the 1 seed out of the South, at 5 o'clock. And so they will leave Thursday morning. I want to thank Callie for all her help in getting organized, as you have a quick turnaround to figure out all the details. And so during the week of parent-teacher conferences and the beginning of spring sports, it's been crazy. So thank you to her for her help. Middle school wrestling is up and going still. 5-6 basketball played their first jamboree last weekend. We'll host our jamboree on March 22nd. So if you want to see some fun basketball, you can come on over that day. And then, like Russ mentioned, yesterday was the big day for our spring season. So I want to thank Russ, because there's lots of work that has to be put into getting everything ready for outside sports. And he's my go-to, and I appreciate all he does. At this point, our initial numbers are 12 tennis girls, 6 tennis boys, 16 track girls, and 17 track boys, 7 golf boys, 6 golf girls, with just a handful of athletes attempting a dual sports between some of them. Middle school track is still in need. We're advertising for another coach, so if you spread the word, we are still looking for one there. And then, I guess before my last thing, do you have any questions about any of that? Okay. And then the last thing, I was, that I need to do that I almost forgot about, but I remembered, is Miss Ferguson would like to return and volunteer to help the golf team. So she, is very anxious and ready and has done all of her paperwork, and she would, like to come back and be part of our Longhorn team again. And so I would like to recommend Marta Ferguson as a volunteer for the golf team.
Second.
Wasn't interested in middle school track?
I did ask for that.
Not yet. That's not, she hasn't forgot that yet, no.
Comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
And that was my quick report. I took up a lot of your time last time, so this one's quick, unless you have anything else.
So, thank you.
My turn to hug up. Okay, so the first handout I have, that goes this way, is our current budget and where we're at. And just remember, this is just the general fund. So elementary, high school, transportation. On that one, where we wrapped up the second quarter. So it kind of gives you a good idea. And there's the 2 different columns. The one column that has just the budgeted amount. I keep the first set before the gray line, how I thought the year would go, and then I'll change the second set of bold numbers to fit how the quarter goes. So I can kind of have track of where I started to how it ended up. Does that make sense? Kind of convoluted, but it helps, yeah. It's more for my information, but I think we're doing good on that one. Then the second pieces of information I have for you are the preliminary budgets. So we have to remember that these are pre-session, the legislature hasn't finished up yet, and these do not account for the inflationary increases that we will get, that they have not gone through the legislature yet. So I've highlighted, you can't see it on your copy, it's gray, the elementary's first, and I've highlighted the number there for our highest budget without a vote. If you want to take a different amount, you have to run a general fund levy, which I wasn't sure that any of you really wanted to do.
I don't think our highlights copied through.
Oh, they did.
Page 2, oh, on this page, yes.
Right. Yeah, so the elementary is on the back of the front page. And you can see that our budget from last year to this year is relatively the same because we do have some enrollment, changes in the elementary school, because they take a 3-year average to your, to what they predict your fiscal year 26 will look like. And that's always on the very front, your certified A and B. And that's based off your spring count, so the count that we just had a month ago. And then if you look at the high school one, our high school budget, highest budget without a vote and with a vote is exactly the same. And that just has to do with stable numbers in your high school, that your 3-year average and your current enrollment hasn't changed at all.
So is the vote for a permissive levy? Is that one?
It's not permissive, it's voted. So if you want to go over your highest budget without a vote, you have to run a general fund levy. Yep, and you have to run, it has to be voted.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when you say it's exact, is that 1.481 versus 1.462 on the high school?
No, it's the same as the number right below it.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yep. And
But
so you're looking at this year's,
Yeah.
and this is next year's. So this is
Okay, I
this
got
current
what
year,
you're saying.
and this is next year. So I printed both of these off, so you can see what our budget is this year on this sheet, but what it will be next year on this sheet.
So we're like talking about $15,000 or something difference between
Uh-huh.
in our elementary, between our non-voted levy authority and our voted levy authority.
Correct.
So we were talking about, well, since we just ran a levy, nobody really wants to run another $15,000 levy. So,
And we have, I mean, there's been those differences in the past and we've never done it, because there is some other funding that comes through. That typically makes up that difference. So I just sometimes don't. Risk reward situation there.
And I think Hallie's really great about like communicating with me and saying no. And that's a great, which is, I don't love. but
Super
she's
fun.
great at it. And so, yeah, I mean, the communication there is good and something that we're willing to do for sure, so that we don't have to run the general.
Okay, the next bit of lovely information I have for you is non-voted levies. So these are our permissive levies. So these are the levies that will go into effect that people don't vote on. And we'll put this ad in the paper, if you all agree with it. So our transportation, bus depreciation, tuition, and that's special ed tuition, that's not general tuition. Adult ed, technology, and building reserve. You'll see the building reserve is different there. The state dictates what you can levy in there. You don't get a choice. So it's a little bit less this year, and the reason it is because the state is putting forth less money. So I levy a certain dollar amount and the state matches it for the total amount that's listed on the bottom for both schools. So we only levy like a quarter of that and the state makes up the difference. So it's still benefiting us to do that. And then that just goes in our building reserve fund too. We've done that for the last 3 years. Cause as long as the state, I figure, matches more than what we levy, it's still a good thing to do.
Yeah.
So. I mean, it's,
no, we need to be,
right?
we need to be levying as much as we can
So-
in that fund because that prevents us from having to levy
So you
as
can't,
much.
we
yeah.
couldn't levy anything more in that building reserve
Correct.
though,
Nope,
like without running.
Nope.
Okay.
without running a voted levy like we did.
No, well.
Yep.
I just hate to see a negative
I know.
in there because
Well,
we're
the
going
only reason
backwards.
it's, yeah, like it's not going backwards per
I
se.
mean, I get that, but I mean, we need to build that fund.
Right,
Because we've got
Right.
levies that are gonna fix problems, but there's more problems.
eventually going to come, yeah, so you can just levy what the state tells you to every year. We are, levying a little bit more in our, elementary transportation and our high school transportation. Just because costs have gone up and we do have more, out of district transportation contracts than we ever have in the past. And last year, as a result, I was a little bit short in that elementary school transportation fund. So. We have more students that are further away to get to the, where the bus would be, so. Is anybody that's more than 3 miles, Paul,
Yep.
from the bus stop, we have to make up that difference.
Yep.
Kelly, how does the, I know the tuition fund helps cover special ed costs.
Okay, so our
How does
elementary,
it?
how does it cover the new tuition law?
Yes.
It doesn't.
It doesn't
So-
at all.
On here, your permissive tuition levy only covers sped costs. So you can see that we levy in the elementary school because we have a student that has a one-on-one aid. That's the only reason you can levy in the permissive tuition fund. Is to cover for that levy or cover for that one-on-one aid. And the tuition levy in your schools, your permissive tuition levies are in arrears. So what I'm levying for now is what we're spending this year. So we levy for the money next year, but we already spent it this year. And anything that you have different, you have to give back. So you can't levy in your tuition fund forward thinking. You have to do it reverse, which is the polar opposite of all of the other funds.
So the out of district
Tuition.
student tuition
Okay.
cannot be non-voted levy.
Correct. So if you had out of district, you wanted to levy for your out of district students, that is a voted levy. That is why we're entering those, contracts now. And I've entered all of our kids that are coming in, and then I build the schools for our kids that are coming in. We have some students going out, and I have a list of those that have been entered into the system. From all of the contracts that we have signed of students going out versus the students coming in, we are still in a net positive. So I didn't feel like we should levy vote, take that to our voters, because we're at a wash. It's not costing our taxpayers any money to have students from out of district coming in, and our taxpayers aren't having to pay because we have students going out. It's a wash.
And just to be clear, I think that it's worth stating that, so I signed a bunch of these the other day. It's students that have chosen to go to other districts that have previously gone to Fort Benton, but it's also a group of students from the Sunnybrook Literate Colony, because they have a charter school set up. So I don't remember what the number of students was there.
Isn't that
16.
16 students.
where the water.
That's a,
That's
yeah,
where the wash comes from.
that's a lot of students that leaving our district. So then obviously the students from Geraldine or other districts that are coming here. So, yeah, it
Yep.
puts Geraldine in mind because there's a lot of students and then they have to have a voted levy.
They have to, yeah,
They
they'll,
don't have a choice. They
yeah,
have to pay
lots
them.
of district, and you don't have a choice to pay it. So once you enter, per the legislation, once you enter those in the system, you bill those districts and they pay them based on when the taxes come in. So your taxes come in November and May, so you bill them in June and December. And those are also in arrears. Cause next month, you'll see, you guys will have to approve all the kids for the next year, but your billing is a year behind. The really bizarre, complicated mess, if you must know. But I guess that's how, that's how those charter schools are funding themselves then, is your students, district of choice. That you can go, and it's prorated out, so like we had a student that moved over here from Geraldine late. We only get the tuition for the days that she was here, not the whole year, and likewise, we had a student that left our district. And we only have to pay for the time that he was gone, so. And you do the same thing if you had students that had to go to. And that's where it gets pricey, is you have students that need to go to the Yellowstone, boys and girls, they'll charge your district. Mm-hmm.
Like we pay them if we recommend children to go there.
Yep.
It's on us. We
Yeah.
need to pay school.
If we
So
recommend.
do not.
If we recommend them
If we
to go
recommend-
there,
if
That's
we
the
recommend-
difference, but now
They're
they're
out
out
of
of take them,
district,
that's
yeah.
different, so.
so this whole district of choice thing, I think it's a much bigger problem in, from what I've, in my meetings, in like the Gallatin Valley, Bozeman area. That those kids move around a couple of times a year, and same over in Kalispell, they move from Kalispell to Whitefish to Thompson Falls. And they're constantly moving around.
I have a little bit of confusion about this. Do those dollars come out of our general fund?
No, that, yes, they do. So I'll pay them out of my general fund, but it effectively lowers our levies. So the income that I get, if I get any net income from it, it'll essentially lower our general fund levy to our taxpayers. But I have to pay it out of my general fund.
So I'm a little confused because we don't get A and B dollars for those students coming into our general fund.
Yep.
So why are we then paying out of our general
We
fund?
do get A
I mean,
and
they
B.
get, we do get A and
We
B
do
for
get A
them
and B
and
money
we
for
pay
them.
it out.
Yep, because we count them in our spring count. But
Even though they're out of district.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. that makes
But
more
now you're
sense.
getting the state money, not just the A and B money, you're getting your state money. So you're effectively getting their tax, quote unquote, district taxpayer money for that student. So they break down how much they figure each student is worth in their separate tax district. So like our students that live in Liberty County that come to Fort Benton are way more valuable than our in Shoto County students. Because Liberty County has a higher,
Not
Yeah.
all those Gerald.
Right. because they have, they have a higher tax
No,
base.
that's Shoto, that's what she's
Right?
saying.
So Liberty County has a
Justin,
higher
yeah.
tax base.
So I need to go
Then
recruit
Shoto
others,
County.
you're saying.
So those students cost their district more money. So like when we're sending the Colony kids up to Liberty County, they're not getting as much money as their students that can, like, because it's based on where they live, their residence to the district they're going through. And like our students from Great Falls, far less than our Soto County students. It's because of the property tax base that they're basing where those students live.
It's
So,
complicated.
yeah, so you're trying to just get you to pay your district, your tax revenue is going to the district that your student is at, I guess.
And that's why we give her the big bucks.
It's so many classes. This is what I did at radiation. I took all these classes. So, but it's very confusing and,
Of course,
yeah,
she could be telling us anything.
right?
That's a good point.
Where's the school district line up there for us? Is it county line?
It's a county line.
Okay.
Yep, and that colony is right next to my house now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
this.
They use my road by my house.
Oh.
Makes my eye twitch, but, the only other thing I have, and it's not on my report, so I'm just gonna tell you about it, and you'll have to vote at the next meeting, is we have some obsolete property, and Paul has taken some lovely photographs here. Of this trailer that we would like to dispose of. So I will pass that around.
We've had it on the agenda forever, just in case. And
I know.
And now we don't.
And now we don't. So if you just wanna take a look, we'll include that next month. So. That's all I have.
Thank you. We don't need to vote on the non-voted levy form or anything, and that's just for
It's
notice.
just, it's
Okay.
just for notice so that you guys are aware.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so first of all, good evening, welcome. We put together the calendar committee. Calendar committee consisted of 2 admin, 2 certified and 2 classified staff members. And what I'm sharing with you, these are also shared electronically in my report I'll send out tomorrow. These are the 2 options that were presented to the staff for a vote. I have extra copies too to share.
You need one?
I'm good. Okay. Basically, the biggest differences between these 2 calendars that the staff chose from. Option number 1 has us starting with PIR days on the 18th of August and getting out before Memorial Day. Option number 2 has us starting on the 25th of August with PIR and getting out after Memorial Day. The trick with those 2 starting and ending times in August are obvious, people are harvesting and that kind of thing. But at the end of the school year, with the way the calendar is next year, we will have high school activities going until the end of May. State competitions will not be over Memorial Day weekend, they would be the following weekend. So, that is why we settled on these 2 options. Some people feel very strongly about ending before Memorial Day. Some people feel, but this is the first time, help me out here, Jamie.
For a while.
In the last few years, that we've had high school activities that continued after Memorial Day weekend. Both calendars have 2 weeks at Christmas, and those to me are the kind of the highlights, unless you have specific questions. The vote has already been taken, so I can tell you the one that received the most votes. And the recommendation I'll be making tonight is for acceptance of option number 2.
So you start later and finish later.
Start later and finish later.
I think this is closer to what sometimes we've had in the past.
Mhm.
We've gone until May 29th.
Often.
Yeah, and we've started
Earlier.
around the 23rd, 25th often. Yeah.
It's a long day.
Yeah. Any questions?
We are finding a lot of funding fail at the elementary school.
I guess we do approve this as a board vote.
Yeah. So I would recommend to you tonight, based on the vote from your staff, we had about a 70% voter turnout, I guess, for the calendar and with classified and certified staff. So my recommendation to you tonight would be to accept the vote as the calendar is voted upon, which is option number 2.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. Any public comment, questions? I need more time to look it over. Okay, all in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you. The accreditation process has been completed. Roxanne and I spent this is a new process the Office of Public Instruction put out beginning last school year. Much more intense, much more involved last year, but the system this year was much more user friendly. You might recall last year that it required us to enter all of the data at one time. You couldn't save it. So anything we uploaded, anything that, any reports that anything we had written in the report, we literally sat in the wake up almost one whole afternoon and early into the evening, or 6 hours, I guess, literally loading everything. We had to collect everything, but we had to copy and paste and type and whatever. This year, you could do it in little snippets and whatever, and so it's been completed. A lot of that accreditation process now with the way the state uses the Infinite Campus student management system, that data is entered by our Roxy Allen. So they're looking at our teacher loads, our teacher certifications, those kinds of things. And so we don't have the report back yet, but it's a time consuming process and it's been completed and uploaded, and we'll wait for the report back. I reported to you last month that the middle school, high school staff had looked at the revision of our honor roll policy. And it's now been shared with, I bring it up again tonight because that revision was shared with high school student council and National Honor Society members. They really liked what was proposed. And so it'll be attached electronically to my report when you see it tomorrow. But we would move forward with our first assembly recognizing students from their third quarter grades at an assembly in mid-April. And the first ever students to receive the Be the Bridge Award. So we're gonna move forward with that. We're very excited about that. And we got really, really positive feedback from the kids. So that was pretty cool.
Can I hop in there for 1 second?
Yeah.
I just brought to mind that this idea had been proposed once upon a time when we were talking about the Longhorn Cafe and all the record boards we have up there. Somebody had said, wouldn't it be cool if we had Hall of Fame for students who have gotten over 30 on their ACT or something like that. So anyway, I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah,
If you're looking for ideas of how to. Give credit to academic accomplishments.
Part of the unique conversation I felt like we had with the kids was about certificates. You know, how do you feel about you come up and I shake your hand and I give you a certificate as part of the award? Well, to the students, they weren't, let's use the word impressed by the notion of the certificate, but a couple of them said, they recognize that your students recognize that it's important to parents. So we talked about some variations on the theme. Do we recognize you, but don't hand out a certificate, and we may email certificates to parents? Because I said the last thing in the world I want to do is go to the trouble of killing a tree and then printing out all these certificates, handing them out, and then I find them in the hallway on the floor. Because that's been a previous experience at other schools I worked at. So we had a really good discussion about that, and I said, because we're jumping into the middle of the school year, I said, I may not be prepared to give you something at this third quarter grade, but give us a chance to kind of work into this. Let's see how it goes. But it was quite the swing of opinions about certificates. And so I said, so we give trinkets, keychains or whatever, and they weren't that crazy impressed by that. But we're working on an idea they gave me for the Be the Bridge Award. So stay tuned about that. But it was great conversation, and they gave us great input. So
I've heard a lot of positive talk about it too.
yeah, good. That's great. I think I wrote this down, Roxy, that we've completed all our teacher appraisals.
Yes, I have not completed all of
Okay.
my veteran teacher appraisals, but I'm working on it.
Okay, yeah,
Yes.
I think I have one.
You are ahead of the
Okay,
game.
okay, just wanted to report to the board, we repeated them all, and we would have contract renewals for you in April.
Perfect.
We do not have school on Friday, April 21st. It'll be a PIR day, half day for us as a staff. And one of the things I wanted to point out on that day, we've been talking here about the Emergent 3 application, app that we're gonna be using. And this is for communication during emergencies. And so the leadership team has been given training on the Emergent 3 app. The office secretaries, which will include Connie, are gonna be trained next Tuesday, the 18th. Then all staff on that morning of the 21st will be trained. And so then we would begin using that system in the event of a fire drill lockdown, communicate, it's really a communication tool with our people. And so that's in the works on that PIR day. We'll have some building level training on that morning, but that is the one district-wide piece that'll happen on the morning of March 21st. We have the agreement for, the Golden Triangle Curriculum Cooperative. And so Joella needs to sign this. This is for, the curriculum, consortium that we belong to, provides, organization of curriculum within, our school district as well as others, and, some professional development opportunities as well. We currently have, 3 teachers within our school district, participating, and they have, library media services, help me out, Roxy. Art, fine art, or, visual arts, and physical education are the 3 curriculum areas that we're doing right now. And so we have people from the school district that are participating in those trainings. And we had some people last summer that got training from the cooperative, and this is an agreement for us to continue being a part of that cooperative.
A lot of my teachers, almost every single elementary school teacher utilizes their summer courses. And I teach a couple summer courses for them, it's a great time for teachers to get together and talk and share ideas.
Yeah.
And come up with behavior plans, all the things.
$7,294 and 75 cents.
Yeah. That's our yearly fee.
And we usually have a
The more,
motion.
yes, and then, yes, please. So I would recommend that we accept renew this membership to the Golden Triangle Curriculum Cooperative.
I would make that motion. We've used them for a long time, so.
Any questions? Public comment? Hey, all in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Great. One of the final things I have tonight is that we're excited to announce that we're going to host, we had Joellen and members of the local Chamber of Commerce approached us, Tanara Martin and I, my high school counselor, and talked to us about hosting a career expo. And so we will hope to host this on Wednesday, April 23rd, with an evening on the April 22nd for members of the community to come. And businesses within Fort Benton, within Choteau County, have been invited to come and have a table. And the intent here, and Joellen, feel free to jump anytime. The intent here is for our students, our student body, 7 through 12, to begin to have interaction with members of the community, businesses, and how they could, what our students need to know and understand about applying for a job at the hemp plant, at the newspaper, and wherever the businesses are, the educate, we're gonna have a table, the school district's gonna have a table, the restaurants are gonna have tables. I mean, these are the people that have been invited. And so we're gonna have our students in the morning of the 23rd, an hour at a time, go through and interact with the people at these tables. And yeah, we're very, very excited about the opportunity. The folks from the job service were here today, and Tanara and I met with her. She's gonna do a little short video clip to kind of set the stage for us. Then Tanara and I will go around and meet with the students in grades 7 through 12 about a week, 10 days, 2 weeks prior to the event, to be having them begin to think about if they're interested in local employment, if they're interested in a career path to a certain job. They wonder what they need to do. They're gonna do. They need to approach these tables and talk to these folks at these certain businesses. And so the job service is gonna create this video for us, and then we're gonna begin setting the table with that. Our plan right now is to have the kids have a passport, and we talked again today about sort of an assignment, what the kids are gonna bring out of it. Maybe the older kids creating a resume if they haven't already created a resume, and the job service is willing to look at those resumes. But as a follow-up to the interviews that they're gonna conduct with businesses that day, we talked about one of the things for the oldest of our students would be to make sure that they have a resume created. And that's something we're working on. What does that look like at the end? The younger kids maybe would have the passport idea. And so they're getting information from different tables so that they're interacting with multiple people to get a taste of what Fort Benton has to offer.
Yeah, and we, the purpose behind this really, it is twofold. One, we hear from a lot of local businesses that they have a hard time finding people to work. So, we've experienced this with the school, that if we hire somebody who's from here, they're a lot more likely to stay here. And, so it's just kind of that theory, right? If we can recruit from our local workforce and our local student body, that's better. And, also from a student's perspective, there's so many kids graduating nowadays who are really hesitant to go spend the money on a college education when it costs a fortune. And they don't maybe know exactly what they want to do. We do a good job of connecting kids to, degrees or, you know, programs that they can take in a college, and we take them up to the Harvard Career Fair and so on. But we don't necessarily do a great job of connecting them to the actual jobs and careers that they can have. So we're working really hard on, I have, a few flyers here, that if anyone has a business and they're interested in participating, I can give you one. But we are trying to make sure that we represent the ag sector and the like Benefis is signed up, and we have, the emergency services coming, and we'd like to get some businesses from agriculture, farming, banking. Oh yeah, the bank called me today, so I think we're gonna have some good participation. I'm excited about it.
Is it gonna be in the gym? Is it?
Yeah,
I mean, the-
yes. And again, our thinking was that we would open it up in the evening, these businesses would come set up in the gym that night, we'd open up to the community to come. For any people that are seeking an employment or a different career path or anything like that, and then the students would go through on the morning of. We had lots of different ideas and suggestions, but we wanna kind of put our foot in the water, we wanna kind of get this started. So we're kind of thinking small, that's why we're just gonna do it in the morning of the 23rd, and then just a little window in the evening. And then we hope to have it become an annual event. And so certainly kudos to the chamber for bringing it to our attention and suggesting, give this a try.
I was just gonna mention, yeah, that we had gotten a question about inviting other schools to attend. And because we don't want to overwhelm businesses right now, we wanted to not make it too much of a time commitment for them. And we do want to test the waters here. And so we decided at this point, we're going to just do Fort Benton students. Hopefully other towns can either model this program, or eventually we can expand it to include like the whole county or something.
This is fantastic for those kids who don't realize graduation's coming.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them, and they feel forced into finding a career path in college, and they don't really feel ready to do that.
Yeah.
And so I think this might really resonate with kids.
I think so.
Is this gonna be tied, in the past, we've done some deals with the egg extinction agent maybe? As
It's
an
not
egg
tied to
agent?
that, but
I mean, is it gonna, like, have we talked to them just to, I can't remember exactly who put it on.
like the egg days, is that the one you're
Yeah.
thinking about?
Maybe the extension?
I don't know if that, is it extension?
That's the extension.
We should visit with him about it, yeah, and
Is it-
see, I'd like to get him involved in this, yeah.
So we don't double up,
Would it be Janelle Barber, is that who
Yeah.
we're talking to?
Tyler.
I've been meaning to reach out to her.
maybe, I don't know.
And
Just a
Tyler,
thought.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to reach out to them, so I will work on it.
And there'll be some dates on here, upcoming things and that's it. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, before we move into our committee reports and meetings and all of that, let's go back and revisit our community board meeting reschedule. So Tyler said 6 o'clock. So if we were gonna do it before, we probably have to do after school, like 4 o'clock maybe.
That's fine. I can do 4 to 4 o'clock.
You wouldn't be able to make it. And you're
But I-
supposed to be sworn in, so we'd have to
Yeah.
swear you in the following board meeting, or just let you show up when you, I don't know, what time would you be able to make it? Probably not. 12.
That was a Monday.
No,
that's
that's
still
still
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Oh, it's still
Oh, it's a
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Moving it just earlier.
Same day it would normally be, just earlier in the 11.
Basic 4 o'clock. I might be able to just take the day off from work to make it.
I don't want it to be a hardship for you.
No, I just gotta tweak my schedule some.
Even if you, couldn't make it till a little bit later, we would be here till 6 or so, and I'm sure he could swear you in later. We don't have Rick do it anymore, right? We were able to do it ourselves here, so, we can. I mean, I'm assuming that nobody's gonna run against you, Dusty.
I haven't even heard if anybody has yet.
So. Okay, so 4 o'clock, May 12th.
Okay.
Is everyone okay with that?
Monday, May 12th,
Oh, Tuesday,
No.
May 13th. Oh, I meant May 13th, I'm sorry.
Tuesday, May 13th.
Tuesday, May 13th, same day as our usual board
Yeah.
meeting, 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you're welcome.
May
Yeah.
13th. Tuesday, 4 o'clock. Okay. Okay, Buildings and Grounds Committee report.
So we met on February 25th and discussed the project, up and coming project, we've got the money. Which the two that do need to go out to bid are gonna be the elementary water and sewer pipe project and then the high school electrical project. And like Russ said, the bids will go out March 16th, 19th and 22nd. Doing a pre-bid walkthrough on March 28th. Bids will be opened on April 4th. 3 PM will be the elementary, 3:30 the high school, followed by a buildings and grounds. And we will have a recommendation at the board meeting on the 8th for contractors. As far as all the other projects, we're kind of waiting until these bids come in, then we'll just kind of lay it all out, see where the money will work. Hopefully, we're gonna get a spreadsheet and kind of get things so we can follow the whole timeline once we decide.
So you said April 4th, you have a walkthrough.
No,
Is that what?
March 28th, they do a
March 28th.
pre-bid walkthrough. April 4th, we will be opening the bids.
Oh, okay. And then you have talked about having a Buildings and Grounds Committee meeting before the April board meeting.
Yes, we have a buildings and grounds following on the 4th,
It's
following
already,
the bid openings.
okay.
I think we decided on 3:30 or cool.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah,
3:30 Buildings and Grounds
Yeah.
meeting. Okay.
We're doing 3:45.
3:45.
On the bid, 3:30.
Yeah, 3:45.
Yeah, right, yeah, last one we opened 3:30 and moved right into buildings and grounds.
Okay,
The walkthrough is on Friday on purpose so that there's nobody in the schools
okay,
or relatively free.
perfect. Okay,
Okay, that's kind of the gist of what we discussed. The only other thing is we're working on planning a long range planning committee, but we haven't had that meeting. We're gonna.
is that where you'll discuss the MSGIA report and everything?
Right,
Okay.
right, and all
We
the,
had it scheduled in May and then weather and doctor's appointments just, so we haven't had a chance to.
hopefully we can get that all put together, so next time we got money, I have extra money. We'll have a place to put it, so
Okay. All right,
that's what the meeting was about.
so you already have that meeting scheduled. Are there any questions? Okay. We also need to schedule a personnel committee meeting, for upcoming negotiations, and I think we're a little unsure about what that looks like this year. But we can, have discussions about our administration and, about, we really need to talk about too, like what we're expecting for funding. Most of the state funding increases are coming through, STAR payment, which is like basically a teacher incentive. If you remember, we've had to, raise teacher pay to meet a minimum requirement to qualify for this STAR payment. And they're, rather than raising, doing general across the board A and B increases, they're basically trying to funnel money to schools through the STAR payment instead. In an effort to raise teacher pay across the whole state. So, it probably will require an MOU, with the teachers union, for us to meet that minimum and get that money. So, another kind of complicated school.
That's
funding.
fast.
Didn't stars
It
pass?
hasn't passed
It
yet,
hasn't
but they're
passed yet.
expected
It's
to.
looking place before.
It's looking like it will.
But yeah, you have to, school districts have to have it in place before they want to pass it. I think they want to see how many schools are willing to do it before they pass it. Yeah, and then personnel also has to meet with myself and Rock Creek.
So all of our admin and it's classified negotiations this year. It's not clear to me if we have a classified representative.
I mean, I'm working on that.
What do you think time-wise here? Can we meet in the next month or do we need to wait a little bit? for
I
some of
think
this
this
to
to be
be
in the next one,
pinned down?
because we have to have the STARS Act thing in place before May.
Yeah.
So we need to meet in April.
Okay,
Will, Jenny, Joellen, and Kylan.
okay. Well, you're on both committees, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, lucky.
All right, so we don't wanna do. Our April board meeting is on the 8th. Your buildings, or your buildings and grounds meeting is on the 4th. Could we meet before, on the 8th, before the board meeting? I could, 6 or something.
That works for me.
Is 6 enough time?
Yeah, I think Roxy and I, and we're not pretty squared away what
Okay,
we're doing.
are you okay with that?
So April
April 8th at 6 P.M.
The fact that I go long, you can always. Make me meet with them.
Okay,
Was Amy the classified?
She resigned.
yeah.
Who's,
Figuring that
oh,
out.
okay.
I had to reach out to the head of the union for the state. Kelly.
So the head of the union.
She just our area, no, she just our area, area head.
She's resigned for next year, but she also
Okay.
quit,
Walk.
so,
There you go.
yeah, I mean, yeah.
So I think there's 2 options, either the state union rep comes and represents them,
Well, they choose.
or
They choose a
we,
new one.
or they choose a new one, or they dissolve it, right? So,
So
there you
they've
go.
got to decide, yeah.
Okay. I didn't realize we had superintendent negotiations on here, did you have that? Or do you wanna do that tonight?
It doesn't have to be, but we can wait till that.
It's up to you. We can go into closed session and discuss it.
It won't
or
take
we
long.
can-
Don't get distracted.
Well, let's, since it's on the agenda,
Let's just
do it.
let's discuss personnel though, so that anybody who wants to go can go.
Okay.
And then all we have to do is reconvene in the interim.
Okay.
Does that work?
They're gonna finish and then.
Okay.
They'll finish and then they'll do it at the end.
So,
So we're just gonna run through, resignations really quick.
so I've received, 2 resignations. You received a copy of, one of them I sent you in an email. I did not have at the time I sent the email reporting that these 2 teachers were going to, had resigned. One is Jeff Plotzer, our middle school, high school PE teacher. The other is Emily Ishikawa, high school science teacher. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but we've received both of those resignations. And the science position has been posted, for a week. I posted it end of last week, I guess. And as I mentioned in my letter, it would be my intent, based upon our collective bargaining agreement, that I would, reassign, Jamie Ball to be the high school PE teacher. And she's certified to do so. And again, by our collective bargaining agreement, Jamie had previously already sent me, Mrs. Ball had sent me a message a month or 6, 8 weeks ago, whatever, expressing interest in the event that the position became available. And I'm able to, as like I said, our CBA to reassign her to that position, so I don't have to even post it.
But we do.
I suppose the board has to approve.
Yeah.
The board has to approve that. So I would like to recommend Jamie Ball be hired as the new high school PE teacher.
So moved.
Second. Thank you. Surprised that Roxy would let you go.
So
We're gonna
that position
provide-
doesn't have to be posted at all?
No, I can we can be re-signed, yeah.
You're so powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any other discussion? Or public comment?
What does it look like to fill that void at elementary?
So part of that discussion before we got to this point was I did speak with Mrs. Benjamin. And I think she has a very good option and is exploring that option.
And Mr. Axman.
Yeah. And so we would have a recommendation for you. It has to be posted inside, in-house. We would post it in-house, but depending on what feedback we get internally, she has a good, at least one really good option moving forward. So we would come back at the April board meeting with a recommendation likely. So that was a consideration. I went to, when this first became the thought of a possibility, we had a conversation. What both of us independently talked to Mrs. Ball and then, it played out, the hand played out, so here we are.
I have one question, high school, middle school PE, is that what this should is?
The way Mr. Klotzer currently teaches one period of PE, the rest, middle school PE, the rest of it's all high school,
Okay,
you know.
so does he, what all courses or curriculum does he teach besides like PE? Or
Weights,
is there-
lifting.
Weightlifting, health and physical education.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is it like six, I was just curious how many periods he had a day or?
We have 8-period day,
Yeah.
and he teaches 7 periods with 1 period of prep. We have discussed what that could look like if Mrs. Ball's the athletic director here, and, I mean, we had to jump through this hoop first, but we'll begin looking at a schedule for how we could accommodate maybe a little more time for her if possible.
Yeah. I personally think that would be a good fit having, you know, one period, at least one period for more AD type.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what we've discussed, yeah. Talked about what time of the day would best suit her. I mean, she's done a really great job of coming over here in the afternoons. But I realized, well, when she come over here in the afternoons, you know, she's got someone covering her class. And so we talked about the end of the days, a lot of times, especially if we're hosting events, are important for gym setup and meeting officials and meeting teams and that kind of stuff. So that's a preliminary discussion that we've begun to have.
Great, well, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
The other hiring tonight, I would kindly recommend that we hire Emily Wicks as a substitute teacher. Mr. Lennington, his wife, as I mentioned, is having a baby, and he's asked to take his sick days at the end of the school year, so he could be with his wife, you know. And we all know that predicting when his wife's gonna have the baby is difficult, so we moved the spring concert dates. But she has agreed to help substitute teach for him in his absence. So it would be a short-term situation, and she's got worked out with the library. So she would come and be the substitute teacher for our music program while Mr. Lennington is out with his dear wife.
Which we're lucky to have, because normally if we have a substitute in band, they're watching movies. She's qualified, actually.
So we will get through the spring concerts, and she would be help with high school graduation, with the band playing high school graduation. That's the only other sort of event, public event that's left after the 2 spring concerts.
So we're trying to bribe her for elementary music,
And they're trying to bribe her for elementary
Yes.
music, yeah.
so,
But she'll be on the school district sub list,
yes,
and that negotiation or bartering,
that
or
will continue.
thumb wrestling or whatever's happening with that is in process.
Do we have a motion for that?
So
Second.
Thank you. Any comments or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, so the only thing left on the agenda is our superintendent negotiations. This is a situation where personnel, Mr. Holt's right to privacy, at least the public right to know. So we are going to invite him to have a closed session. He can choose to waive it if he so chooses.
Like that close session.
Okay, so given that, let's take
Volunteer.
2 minutes.
I'm sorry?
Kelly on the volunteer.
Oh,
Oh,
did we miss
You
him?
need to get that
Anything
aside.
volatile?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Can we add that now?
Yeah,
Before we get- So-
yeah, cause you're not a board.
The board member.
Yep.
But we can,
Well, so anytime like you come to like
Oh,
do anything or help out, you know, with driving any school equipment, we have to hire you as either a volunteer or an employee due to our liability insurance. So. Yeah,
yeah, sorry about that. I was thinking,
No,
sorry. Yeah,
we saw-
so, yeah, so, Kale and Kelly have helped out, here during the winter, and it occurred to us because of our liability insurance that we need to have them noted, approved by the board as volunteers, for that purpose. So I would recommend that we hire them as volunteers. Pretty please.
Okay, but.
Yeah, we-
Okay,
We
we-
can't do, is it Kelly?
Kelly, and
Kelly,
hopefully we can answer back on Kale,
I
yeah.
thought that was just for coaching.
I don't know, I reached out,
I'll sign a contract, I'm not gonna sue anybody.
well,
I know, but
it doesn't matter, 'cause
I know.
even if you fail, it's still a work comp claim. So I did reach out to work comp and they're hopefully in MTSBA to see if you can volunteer and still be on this, like volunteer for, you know, other types of duties while on the school board.
Yeah, okay.
So hopefully they answer me back. We could just wait till the next board meeting.
Well, I just recommend, do we should deal with Kelly tonight? Or wait till next work meeting?
Table
Just wait till next
We
week.
can just do the next.
Okay,
meeting. That's
okay.
fine.
That's all I have.
All right, so let's, we'll go ahead and. Okay, so we're coming out of closed session. We don't actually have, any, motions coming out of this. We are going to, review his negotiation asks and talk about it in our next personnel meeting.
There were so many
Review his
demands.
contract. I was like,
Well,
did you ask for that much money? And so on record, we don't have any motions at this time, so we will table that till next month. And, I think with that, we have a motion to adjourn. Second,
Oh. I'm gonna keep this going.
all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Let's go.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'll send a message to you and Roger.